Long before chemical fertilizers filled garden store shelves, our great-grandparents relied on nature's wisdom to nourish their crops. They didn't have glossy packaging or synthetic blends, but they understood something we've nearly forgotten: how to create rich, living soil from the resources around them. Today, I want to take you on a journey back in time to rediscover a humble yet powerful fertilizer that can breathe new life into your garden. This method, passed down through generations, is so simple, so natural, that once you try it, you may never go back to store-bought plant food again. The fertilizer I'm talking about is fermented plant juice, a nutrient-rich liquid made from foraged weeds, garden trimmings, and kitchen scraps. In the past, farmers and homesteaders knew that every plant held valuable minerals, and by fermenting these plants in water, they could unlock their nutrients into a form that crops could drink up instantly. Nettles, comfrey, yarrow, dandelions, plants our ancestors saw as common, were actually their secret allies in growing abundant harvests. This isn't just compost tea, it's a concentrated plant tonic that can be made in a bucket right in your backyard. The process is wonderfully straightforward. Our great-grandparents would start by gathering fast-growing, nutrient-rich plants, often the weeds that most gardeners pull out and discard. They'd chop these plants into small pieces, pack them into a container, and cover them with water. Sometimes they'd add a bit of old molasses or sugar to speed up fermentation, but often nature took care of the process on its own. After a week or two, the liquid would darken and develop a pungent, earthy smell. Clear evidence that billions of beneficial microbes had broken down the plant material and transformed it into a nutrient soup. This liquid was then strained and diluted with water before being poured around the roots of crops or sprayed directly on the leaves. One of the biggest advantages of fermented plant juice is that it contains a broad spectrum of nutrients: nitrogen for leafy growth, potassium for flowering and fruiting, and trace minerals for overall plant health. Unlike synthetic fertilizers that deliver a quick but shallow nutrient boost, this natural tonic supports soil life, encouraging earthworms, fungi, and microbes to thrive. Our great-grandparents didn't use the term soil microbiome, but they knew instinctively that healthy soil meant healthy plants. What I love about this forgotten fertilizer is how sustainable it is. You don't have to buy anything, just use what nature gives you. Those weeds in your path? They've been pulling minerals from deep underground, storing them in their leaves and stems. When you ferment them, you're recycling those nutrients back into your soil. It's a perfect closed-loop system, one that fits beautifully into a modern permaculture or organic gardening approach. Plus, the process produces almost no waste. The leftover plant mush can be composted or buried in the garden as mulch. I'll share a quick recipe so you can try this yourself. Take a large bucket or container with a loose-fitting lid. Fill it about halfway with chopped fresh weeds. Comfrey is fantastic for potassium, nettles are rich in nitrogen, and dandelions bring in a good mix of minerals. Cover the plants completely with non-chlorinated water. If you have molasses or brown sugar, add a few tablespoons to kickstart fermentation, but it's optional. Stir the mix every couple of days to keep oxygen flowing. After 7 to 14 days, strain the liquid into another container and dilute it, about 1 part plant juice to 10 parts water for root feeding, or 1 to 20 for foliar sprays. So, you'll want to apply every 2 to 3 weeks during the growing season, and honestly, just watch your plants respond with vibrant, vigorous growth. When I first tried this method, I was pretty skeptical. I mean, could a smelly bucket of weeds really replace those expensive organic fertilizers? But the results spoke for themselves. My tomatoes were deeper green, my squash plants produced earlier, and my berry bushes set more fruit than ever before. It honestly felt like I'd tapped into a secret that had been sitting in plain sight all along. The beauty of it is that you can customize the blend to your garden's needs. Need more blooms? Add more comfrey. Want lush greens? Use nettles or alfalfa. The flexibility and effectiveness make this, honestly, an invaluable tool in the gardener's kit. Our great-grandparents may not have had the convenience of store-bought fertilizers, but they had something even better, a deep connection to the land and an understanding of nature's cycles. By reviving this old-fashioned fertilizer method, we're not just feeding our plants, we're honoring a tradition of sustainable, resourceful gardening that has stood the test of time. In an era where so much of gardening has become about products and purchases, this is a refreshing reminder that the best solutions are often the simplest, and the ones that cost nothing at all. So the next time you see a patch of weeds or a pile of garden trimmings, don't throw them away. Think of your great-grandparents, and remember that in those humble plants lies the key to stronger soil, healthier crops, and a harvest worth celebrating. All it takes is a bucket, some water, and a little patience to turn what most people consider waste into liquid gold for your garden. That's the kind of old-world wisdom worth bringing back.